Hello, I'm Richard with Vortex REI. If you've inherited a home in Oregon or discovered a problem with your property's ownership records, you may have heard the term quiet title and wondered what it means. Today, I'm going to explain what a quiet title action is, why it may be necessary, and why inherited and probate-related properties are some of the most common situations where title issues arise. At Vortex REI, we believe homeowners deserve accurate, trustworthy information so they can make informed decisions. While this video is for educational purposes and isn't legal advice, it will help you understand when a quiet title action may be the next step. So, what is a quiet title action? A quiet title action is a lawsuit filed in an Oregon court that asks a judge to determine who has the legal ownership interest in a piece of real estate. Once the court issues a judgment, it can resolve competing ownership claims or remove certain defects from the property's title, making future sales or refinancing much easier. Think of it as clearing up uncertainty about who legally owns the property. One of the most common reasons homeowners need a quiet title action involves inherited property. For example, a parent may have passed away years ago, but no probate was opened, or ownership was never properly transferred to the heirs. In other cases, several family members may have inherited the property together, but one heir cannot be located or there's disagreement about ownership. Sometimes an old deed was prepared incorrectly. Other times, someone who should have signed a deed never did. We've also seen situations where a previous owner's interest was never legally released, creating a cloud on the title. These issues often aren't discovered until the homeowner is ready to sell. Whether you're in Portland, Eugene, or anywhere else in Oregon, title companies routinely uncover these problems during the title search before closing. When that happens, the sale may be delayed until the ownership issue is resolved. Inherited property can become even more complicated when probate wasn't completed correctly, an estate remained open, or ownership records were never updated after a family member passed away. A quiet title action isn't always required, but when there are conflicting ownership claims or significant defects in the chain of title, it may be one of the legal tools available to resolve the problem. Other situations that sometimes lead to quiet title actions include boundary disputes with neighboring property owners, recording errors, conflicting deeds, unknown heirs, unreleased liens that require legal resolution, or questions involving adverse possession. Every situation is unique, which is why it's important to have experienced professionals evaluate the circumstances. So what does the process generally look like? First, an Oregon real estate attorney reviews the title, history, deeds, probate records, surveys when applicable, and other recorded documents. The attorney determines whether filing a quiet title action is appropriate. If so, a lawsuit is filed in the appropriate Oregon Circuit Court. Individuals or entities that may claim an ownership interest are notified according to Oregon law and allowed to respond. If no one successfully challenges the claim, or once the court resolves any disputes, the judge may enter a judgment establishing ownership rights. That judgment is then recorded in the county's real property records, creating a much clearer chain of title for future buyers and lenders. The exact timeline depends on the complexity of the case, whether unknown heirs must be located, whether probate issues are involved, and whether anyone contests the lawsuit. Some cases move relatively quickly, while others can take several months or longer. One question we hear often is, can I sell my property before the title issue is fixed? Sometimes the answer is yes, depending on the nature of the title problem and the buyer's willingness to work through it. In many situations, however, title companies won't insure the transaction until the defect has been resolved. That's why identifying title issues early can save homeowners significant time and frustration. At Vortex REI, we work with homeowners facing inherited property challenges, probate-related questions, and other title concerns. While we don't provide legal services, we can often help identify potential issues early, explain the process, coordinate with experienced title companies and Oregon real estate attorneys when appropriate, and discuss available selling options based on your specific situation. If you've inherited a property and aren't sure whether the title is clear, don't wait until you're under contract to find out there's a problem. A little preparation today can help prevent major delays tomorrow. If you'd like to learn more about your options, visit vortexrei.com for additional educational resources or request a no-obligation property review. We're always happy to help you better understand your situation and point you in the right direction. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more straightforward information about Oregon real estate, probate, inherited property, and homeowner solutions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.